Chris, you came in optimistic, I guess, after the last 2 losses. Are you holding on to that optimism after 3 in a row?
I actually am. I mean, it's a really frustrating night, and we do feel like, we are chasing our tail a little bit, but I don't think that's a unique position within the competition at the moment. Like, even the results of today kind of speak to where the competition's at, and we're not hiding away from the fact that we're not playing as well as we could. But we think there are some pretty obvious reasons for that. So we don't think we're in the position where we need to throw out what we're doing and start all over again. We certainly need some tweaks. And we're also not sort of saying the lack of cohesion and the fact we're a bit out of sync at the moment is something we've just got to be patient with and just wait, until players come back and we build that cohesion. Because it's not even a matter of players coming back into the team like we had Conning come in tonight. Even like Jack Henry came in after not playing a game at all this year. Tyson Stengel, a big layoff. Ollie Henry. So you can get those guys back, but you shouldn't expect it to gel straight away. So we're kind of aware of where it is. It doesn't make me feel that much better at the moment, and we do need to find a way to hang in. But I think the key part for us is not to let the frustration manifest in bad decision making and panicked decisions. So the game, right from the early part, wasn't really going the way that we tried to set it up. But you always got to try to look at the positives. Love watching Oisin Mullen play his first game, and I've said it quite a few times, in a night where we just couldn't get going, didn't have things sort of going our way. The fact that they did keep going and gave themselves a real chance to win late in the game, I think is an admirable quality. Even losing Radigalera, I thought was probably our best player in the first half. Just sort of is a bit symptomatic or symbolic of where we are at the moment. It's just kind of like plug one gap and then another one opens up.
Is that just tightness, Radigalera, or something like that?
No, I think it's more than that. Unfortunately, don't know exactly, but no, I think it's more than that. That's the fear.
And it was the hamstring.
Yep.
You talk about hanging in there. Does it get a point where you're starting to lose your grip on hanging in there when you're 5 and 6? Do you get worried that you could slip in that, hang?
Maybe. It's not now, so maybe it's hard to forecast the future, but there'll be a lot of clubs in that position, and as I said, I think it's pretty tight. So what would it look like if we started to panic and started to worry about the win-loss? As I said, I think that the next step from there is poor decision-making because you're feeling the pressure of a tight competition. That's exactly the opposite of what we're aiming to do.
It looked like tonight, as you said, you couldn't get the game going the way you wanted. It looked like there was a lot of long kicks to contest. There wasn't a lot of uncontested ball moving it through. Was that by design, or was that what you mean in terms of it, the way you're moving it wasn't what you wanted? Yeah, no, I think that's one of the things that we looked at as well and thought, we weren't able to generate that part of our game. And this is very unsophisticated, but it was one of those nights where we just thought, we almost got it through, or, they just got a hand in, or we just kicked the ball over the top of someone's head, missed some shots. Like, we did generate enough shots to win the game. But yeah, I think, again, I'm just trying to explain what we're seeing, but I'm aware that it can kind of sound like a weak excuse when you lose. But we have a lack of cohesion at the moment that's sort of leading to some things that we think are a bit strange. So we've got to train that really hard. But we also knew that, some of the players coming into our team, we never expected them to be the ones that we were depending on, at this stage of the season. We're sort of at the stage now where, we have some holes, and we are asking some guys who haven't had much experience in our system to really step up. And I think individually, most of those guys are, showing some good signs. There is reason to be optimistic about the future, but just right at the moment, that collective group, is not able to. We're not able to get them sort of to the level where we sort of think the game's looking the way we want it to look.
So without the ball in hand, more of an effort thing, maybe, I don't know, but we were all worried that they appeared to have more loose men when they were transitioning the ball from defence than you would normally see against Geelong.
Yeah, I didn't think it was an effort thing. I think I can understand why it's the first thing that some people would go to. We're not seeing that at all, like in the approach during the week or in our games. We think it's more a system thing, and again, sort of speaks to cohesion. Like they were, we didn't get as many inside 50s as we normally would, but the ball bounced out of there without much pressure, much more than it normally would. And look, I've been watching them for a little while, and I wasn't surprised by the way they played. I thought they played really well. Their pressure was really good, smart with the ball. A couple of really smart players, like Toby Green's. He's like, even in the first half, it wasn't as if he was beating his direct opponent outright. Every time he just gets into good spots and is a dangerous player. And I thought their defenders played really well as well. It wasn't just defending our forwards; it was their ability to get the ball out of a dangerous spot, which is normally hard to do against us.
I think I saw the number was 45 points they scored from stoppages, so that's been a little bit of an issue at times this year. What does that come down to? Is how much of it is you and how much of it is them?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of us saying we've got our perfect group of players in there and we're just being outplayed. We think they're having their moments, but also like the bad is kind of a lot worse than we're used to. It's sort of and that's sort of one of the things I think we've got to fight to do. Just like when you get beaten, just like get beaten with the ball going to not such a dangerous spot on the ground. I thought their penetration hurt us a little bit early. The key forwards marked it a little bit. Like the stoppage stuff. So it always should be credit to the opposition. But again, we weren't looking at them tonight thinking, gee, they're better than we thought. Like we knew what was coming. Just that clearance midfield stuff's been a little bit of an issue for us, but not something we can't arrest pretty quickly, we think.
You likely to get anyone back next week? Dangerfield maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Rowan. But I think the overall priority for us is not to... and again, I think this is to your question, Josh. What we're not going to do is look at the win-loss or think that this game's more important than any other game and make a bad decision to rush guys back. We've gone in eyes wide open over the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks, maybe a little less than that, bringing back guys who we thought could play, but will need time to work their way into the season. So we may take that approach with 1 or 2, but unless we're sure, we're just not going to play them. So you'd love to sit there as a coach and say, let's just get our best players in as quickly as possible. But we think, as a collective, and especially our medical and conditioning department, think that would be counterproductive.
How important is he been this season?
Yeah, it's been a real shame that we haven't been able to get Radigalia and De Koning together, for long periods. But I thought Asava was close enough to our best player in the first half. He was really, when they got some penetrating looks, he was really solid back there. So, look, he's been good for us. Hopefully this injury's on the minor end and he only misses a small amount of footy. But again, like he's one in that group. Like if you go through Stewart, De Koning, Jack Henry, we're just looking forward to the time we can get all those guys together and have them, play for a month or so and show what they can do. But yeah, we're still really positive about how Sav will fit into that group. But he has been key to it.
You mentioned Oshin before. He certainly didn't look like a guy was playing his 4th game of footy. What did you like about him today?
Oh, he wasn't overawed by the situation at all, and he looked like he relished the contact and the intensity of the game. He was really solid, with the ball. He's got great speed and power. It was nice. It's nice when you bring young players in and they look at home at the level. I think it's even better when you bring in a guy who probably hadn't seen a Sharon until he was about 16. So it's a really good sign for us. It's something, and we're pleased we had the chance to get him in, and we were really pleased with the way he played.
It was unusual to see a guy in a mask out there. When did you know De Koning was going to be wearing one, and how did it come to pass, and how long will he be wearing it for?
I don't know how long you can wear it. It was always sort of part of the options that the medical staff had. You know, my understanding is it's kind of it would be possible for him to play, but it's just a bit of extra protection. I don't know. It doesn't look that comfortable, does it?
Do you know where it came from? Is it Australian made, or did you have to get it imported, or anything?
Josh, you are asking me questions.
I'm testing you.
Yeah. I think there is a specialist field for this sort of stuff. And a lot of players wear guards on thumbs or shins, or Tyson Stengel wears one on his arm. Yeah, but the face is just a little bit more visible, isn't it?
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks.